Good morning, all of you. It's very lovely to see you this morning. So today's practice is moving on from the last couple of weeks. We've kind of done the first practice listening inwards. Last week, we were just looking at how we kind of stretch into the body and just trying to find, just accepting ourselves, however we're feeling. Which is easier said than done sometimes, as I think we all know, where you feel something and then we're not so sure about the feeling. It may feel quite unfamiliar. And so then comes that kind of dialogue of pushing at it or pulling at it. It's very hard sometimes to sit and just to witness and let things flow through us. This week, we're putting a little bit more movement into the practice. And just going to stretch a little bit more actively within the body. So we're all in the seat. We'll just stay here for a moment to arrive and set the practice. So allowing your eyes to shut when you're ready to. And with your eyes shut, however you're sitting, choosing to sit, find a sense of lift up through your spine. And as you follow that sense of lift up along the spinal column, allow your breath to open up the body from the inside. Almost like you're filling up a container and you want to fill this container all the way up to the top. Expanding out the sides. Front of the body, the back of the body, with your breath. And likewise, as you breathe out, really truly releasing the breath, breathing out all of the breath within you. And your breath is flowing in and out through the nose. And over a few rounds of breath, using your throat almost like a valve to draw the breath into the body, to release it from the body. There's a gentle noise, a resonance to your breath as you draw it in and out, using the throat muscles to do so. And taking another breath together. And allowing your eyes to open again at the end of the next out breath. A couple more breaths in sitting. Holding the body as quietly as you can. So you're really allowing yourself then to feel the resonance of your breath with eyes open. Finding refuge in the breath. Now getting ready to move, we come around and onto all fours. And take a comfortable stance here, so your fingers and hands are spread quite wide, almost out to the edges of a mat. There's a bit of space between your knees here. And the spine is quite neutral, so a little bit of lift up from the base of the belly to support the back of the spine. And then breathing out, we hinge backwards as if you're coming back towards your heels. And breathing in, you'll slide your spine forward and back onto all fours. And you can take your spine a little bit further forward, if that feels comfortable. else you can pause wherever you feel to. So the out breath, easing back towards heels. Breathing in, you're easing forward again. Now we'll just move with this breath for a few rounds. Just gently waking up the spine, waking up the body. Do remember, work at your pace, working with your body. And allowing your body to wake up from the inside to the outside. By which I mean to say, really, rather than superimposing the movement on top of the body, as you follow your breath from the inside, then the movement quite naturally follows, quite organically within you. And your next round of breath, we're going to tuck under the toes and we'll ease back towards heels. You'll feel your arches waking up as you do so. And looking out and forward past your hands along the length of the mat. We'll take a couple of breaths here. Now tuck your chin into your throat. And then breathing out, arching your spine and looking up towards the ceiling. We'll still keep the toes tucked under here. See if you can relax your shoulders to draw them back. Take a couple of breaths here. And then out breath, a little bit of bend through your knees and find your way up and into down dog here. And we'll lift our heels as high as you can here. So you're really stretching out the backs of the legs. And you can stay in balance, 1 or 2 rounds of breath, up on off the heels, and then anchoring your heels back down towards the mat. And the legs will straighten a little bit here. Still keep a softness through your knees. One more round of breath, a really big full body breath in your down dog. And looking forward up towards your hands, we'll start to walk the feet up. And you're arriving hips width apart near the top of your mat. And like a ragdoll, we'll let the arms hang down. A little bit of bend you'll notice in the knees. And we'll just let the spine hang for a few rounds of breath there. And start now to let go of the arms and roll the spine slowly up and into standing, unraveling the spine up to its full length. And once you're there, you can draw your shoulders back. Nice circles through the shoulders. Till we set them back in there, in the collarbone. And the shoulder girdle. And we're arriving in standing into Tadasana. Arms by the sides of the body. Imagine there's a cord at the top of the skull of the head, around the crown level. That cord just lightly lifting you up. Almost like you're lifting up and away from your feet. And give yourself a couple of breaths there in your Tadasana. Really feeling the entire length and the breadth of the body. And filling that space up with the breath. So you've got a real sense of your breath rising up with you. And then your breath releasing downwards to the base of the body. You're filling up the container of the body very fully with your breath. Getting ready to move with the breath and following your own breath flow. So no rush whatsoever, because you're moving with your breath. So you're moving with the breath. It kind of takes out the need to rush or keep up with anything. Do you go at your own pace here? With an out in breath, we'll let the arms float up over the head. And breathing out, taking the palms out to the sides of the body and stretching the fingers wide, we'll take the hands back down again. Now we're going to do that for a few rounds of breath. In breath, the arms are lifting up. And out breath, palms rotating outwards. And they're coming back down to the side of the body. Now keep going for 1 or 2 more rounds of breath here. Really stretching out into the fingertips. And almost like you're lifting up the feet from the mat as the arms float up. You've still got that sense of energy lifting and energy releasing through the body. And with the next round of in-breath, we pause with the arms up over the head. And breathing in, you'll lift up into the spine and take your spine into a gentle back bend here. So unraveling the spine now into a forward fold, your hands will come down the center line and you'll breathe out as you arrive in Uttanasana. Now, whatever version of forward fold you like, you can have hands on the legs, fingertips down to the sides of the body. Your arms can just hang above the mat. Wherever you feel to bring your arms and hands, but make sure your head is relaxed between the shoulders. You can move it a little bit from side to side. Now, starting to move slowly into a sun salutation, breathing in, we're offer the spine forward, so lengthening out through the spine and drawing the shoulders back. Hands can also slide up the knees here, up towards the knees, so that feels more comfortable. And we'll take a big in-breath here, drawing your belly up towards the base of the spine to support your core. And then out-breath. We'll plant the hands down, so we'll probably need a bit of bend through the knees to get the hands firmly down to the mat. And that's then your launch pad to step back and into down dog. And arriving in down dog here, we're drawing the sit bones up and back towards the ceiling. And we're letting the head hang down again between the shoulders. Now a couple of deep, deep breaths again to really fill up the container of the body. And then moving on your in-breath, you're drawing your knees up and forward, the spine will follow, and the knees will come down to the mat. So you've kind of arrived on all fours, and from all fours we draw the pelvis back towards heels in a full spinal stretch here now, arms out in front of you. Looking forwards between your hands now and breathing in, the spine will start to travel along the mat and you're arriving onto the belly, hands underneath the shoulders. Soft in breath, elbows drawing back, and you're arriving into cobra. Back to all fours, toes tucking under, and easing up and back into down dog. And in down dog, you may want to put a bit of movement in. We'll take a few breaths here, pedaling from side to side, bending each knee in turn. So just allow each hamstring to stretch out a little bit more fully.
just keep checking your neck is relaxed as you do this. And then the feet are going to come up towards the hands again. So we'll lift up both heels together, look forward, and from there you can step or you can walk the feet up towards the top of the mat, offering the spine forward again. A real drawing of the spine forward, the heart lifts, the belly lifts at the base of the spine. Hands are either sliding up the legs or down to the mat. And then breathing out. As you release your out breath, we're folding more deeply down the legs. Coming to rise again, opening up the field of energy inside and around us. We'll take a big circle up with the arms. And breathing out, palms coming down center line and back into the heart. Wherever the mind is, drawing it back to the breath and feeling the fullness of your breath inside the body. And then a big circle, breathing in, and we'll take another big circle up with the arms above the head. Breathe in, look up. Little bit of a gentle back bend here. A real full body stretch. And then with the out breath, the spine is folding down and into a forward fold. Remember, let go of your neck here. Let go of the head between shoulders as you arrive in forward fold. So offering the spine forward, the shoulders draw back, the spine lengthens. You're lifting up into the belly and into the heart. A deep in-breath, feeling the breath move along the spine. Hands coming down. That little bit of bend through the knees here as the hands come down. And then you're stepping back into your down dog. Again, keep the bend through the knees. Just gives a little bit more buoyancy to the body. And it allows the strength to build, but there's a lightness then in the body. Sit bones, if you draw them forward a fraction, then draw them back so you feel the difference between the two. And moving with your in-breath, your knees will start to come down to the mat. Keep supporting the core of the body by lifting it up towards the back of the spine. Out breath, easing back towards heels. Doesn't matter if the heels come down, you can stop here wherever feels right, but feeling that stretch out through the hands. So the whole spine is elongated. Now looking forwards again, a soft gaze through the hand, between the hands, and breathing in, the spine will slide forward. You're on the belly, an in-breath into cobra, an out-breath, all fours, and back into down dog. So this time, we'll sway the pelvis from side to side in down dog. You're taking weight from one hand over to the other. And you can take this into a figure of 8 through the pelvis. So it's like you're opening up into the parameters of the body, seeing where feels good, where there's a bit of tightness through the body, breathing into those areas. We're going to start to get ready to move forwards now. So with your in-breath, we'll look out towards the hands. And we'll lift the heels up high, so you feel that stretch along the arches. And then breathing out, walking or stepping the feet up towards the hands. Offer the spine forward, breathe in. And out breath, a deep forward fold down the length of the legs. Coming to rise again, root down into the feet as the spine lifts. Take the spine into that very gentle back bend here, palms above the head. And out breath, arriving back and into the heart again. One resting breath here, and then breathing in, arms floating up. And breathing out, finding your way into forward fold. With your in-breath, you're offering your spine forward. And with your out-breath, your hands come down and you step back into down dog. So coming down onto all fours and breathing in. And breathing out, arriving back to the heels. And then the spine moves forward onto the belly. And so as you breathe in, you arrive into a cobra. And breathing out, moving up and back into down dog. And we'll take a few resting breaths again in down dog. And this time we're going to come into a twist. So right hand comes to the top of the left thigh and you can slide the right hand down towards your left ankle. Kind of helps keep quite a nice firm grip of the hand on that left leg. So you're looking out underneath your left armpit here. It's quite a strong asana. So just go quite, within your own parameters. The next round of breath, we're going to do the other side. So right hand back down to the mat. We're back in equilibrium here, all 4 points of contact on the mat. And then we'll lift up the left hand. That comes over to the top of the right thigh. Slide it down towards your right leg. And looking out underneath the right armpit for a few breaths here. Now left hand will come back again, back in equilibrium, all 4 corners, and just move your spine the last breath here or so from side to side. Whatever feels good for you. Looking forwards, breathing in, and the heels lift. So now you're ready to step forward with the out breath up towards the top of the mat. Offer the spine, remember draw the shoulders back. Lift up into the belly, breathe in. And out breath into forward fold. Coming up to rise, a deep in-breath. And breathing out, arriving back and into the heart. With your next in-breath, we'll take the arms in a big circle up above the head, and we'll interlace fingers up above us. It's like you're pushing the ceiling up with the palms of the hands. Now softening your shoulders down to either side, a little bit of bend through the elbows. Breathing in, the heels will lift off the mat. Now to wake up the core, really draw your belly muscles in towards the base of the spine. So we're drawing the belly inwards. And this will then support you as we come into a forward fold with the heels lifted. So breathing out, the arms will start to come down, the heels are still lifted, and you're lifting up into your belly. Just support that flow of the body downwards into forward fold. Keep the heels still lifted for a moment more. And then out breath, planting them down to the mat. And you're riding in a deep forward fold. Now catching hold of your big toe, we take the second and third finger underneath the big toe towards the center. So then with your thumb, you can clasp the inside edge of the big toe. So you've got a kind of lever there. Breathe in, look forward, lengthen out through the spine, bend your knees as much as you need. And breathing out, drawing your spine down and into a forward fold. Your elbows are out to either sides of the body here. Your knees can be bent as much as you want. And with your next round of breath, looking forward, still keep hold of the big toes if you can. Breathe in. And then this time, we're lifting up the soles of the feet, sliding the hands underneath the soles of the feet. So you're standing on your hands, palms facing up. Breathing out again, back into forward fold. It will feel a little bit more intense on the backs of the hamstrings. Note if your shoulders are pulling here. See if you can take the elbows out to the sides. Lengthen out through the neck. Next round of breath. And breathing in, the hands release out. And we're off of the spine forward. So putting the hands back down to the mat and stepping back into down dog. We're now going to lift the right leg up. So it's more or less, actually no, we'll take it higher than parallel to the mat. Stretching out into the right toes. And breathing out, the right leg will float down. And it's arriving back down to the mat. So weight into the right foot now, and anchoring it down, we'll lift the left leg up, stretching up into the toes again. And then letting the left leg float back down again. Now looking forward between the hands, we're going to step the feet up towards the top of the mat again. And breathing out, we're going to fold down the length of the legs. And so with a deep in-breath, we'll start to come up to rise. And breathing out, hands will come down the center line as we step back with the left leg into a wide stance. And we'll turn both feet so they're facing inwards and they're parallel with one another. In breath, arms out to the sides of the body. Stretching out into the fingertips, turning your palms away from you, almost like you're pushing out both walls on either sides with the palms of the hands. A big in-breath, filling up the core of the body. And out-breath, we start to fold forward into forward fold. So your fingertips will come in front of your body. And you may want to walk the feet a little bit wider apart from one another, heel toe walking out, sides of the mat. Another in-breath, look forward. Do keep the knees quite soft here. And out-breath, folding down in between the legs into a wide-legged forward fold. The last round of breath in to really soften into this. Note where you're holding tightness. And letting your breath fill up the body, flush through the body, softening some of that tightness. Breathing in, rooting the hands down, looking forward, and we'll turn the heels in now, so the toes are pointing out to the sides of the body, heels in, and we'll start to lift up into standing. Coming up to standing, we'll breathe out and slide the hands down towards the knees, almost like you're ironing out the legs. Nice strong legs here. And arriving in a kind of goddess pose here, draw your belly in towards the base of the spine. Breathe in, take a big circle up through the arms. And we're going to interlace. We're going to cross the hands above the head so you catch hold of the palms of the hands. Breathe in, lift up through your arms with the knees still bent. Breathe out, take the hands almost behind the head. Make sure the neck doesn't come forward. Breathe in, lift up. Breathe out, elbows to the sides, hands to the top of the head. Breathe in, lift up. And breathe out, folding forwards again, back into forward fold. The legs straighten. And we'll walk the hands around now towards the right foot and turning your right foot so it's parallel with the long edge of the mat. And your back foot, the left one, will also turn so it's parallel with the long edge of the mat. And we'll start to drop the left knee down towards the floor. Right hand stays to the little toe edge of the right foot. And left hand will float up, taking you into a low lunge. Left hand to ceiling, and you're twisting out towards the left. Nice soft left shoulder here. One more round of breath. And the left hand will come down towards the floor. So you're framing your front foot here now, and we'll start to straighten up the right leg, bending back towards the left, coming into a runner's lunge. Your toes can lift off the right foot if that feels comfortable, else you can keep them on the floor. And put a bit of bend into the right knee, that doesn't matter, or you can straighten it out. Breathing in, we'll look forward. And breathing out, we're folding down along the length of that right leg, letting the spine hang down towards it. So it's a strong hamstring stretch. So do go carefully there. We'll take another breath or so. And then we'll start to bend the right knee forward again. So you're back into your lunge. Now take both hands round to the big toe edge of your front foot. And once you're there, start to turn your right foot. So you're coming onto the little toe edge of your right foot. And the big toes of the right foot will lift up towards the ceiling. And so you'll start to feel it opening up into this inner seam of the right thigh. You can see the big toes lifted. You're just balancing on that outer edge of the right foot. Few rounds of breath there. Keep the spine long. Weight balance on the hands, on the back leg. And we'll start to plant the right foot down again. Now we're going to lift up the back leg, strong back leg here. So you're kind of in a high runner's lunge here. And now you're going to walk your hands around to the center line in between the feet. They're spread wide. And we're back into a forward fold here with wide legs. In breath, lengthen out the spine, and out breath, folding down between the hands. And from a couple of breaths there, we'll start to walk the hands around towards the left foot. So you're rotating the left foot so it's parallel with the long edge of the mat, and the right foot will likewise be parallel. And we're starting in the low lunge, dropping the right knee down towards the mat. And keep the back toes tucked under, or you can flatten them on the floor, whatever you feel to do. Left hand by the outer edge of the left foot from the little toe side. And the right arm will lift up now to take you into the twist. Okay, just note what's happening with the right shoulder, so keep it soft. Use your belly to keep stability within the body. And even though there may be quite a few intense sensations flowing through the body, using your breath to keep filling and emptying yourself, container of the body, from the inside. Right hand will come down with the next breath or so. And now you'll take both hands over to the big toe edge. And then, as we did on the other side, we come onto the outer edge of the left foot. So the toes are lifted up. And you're taking that left knee out towards the sides of the body. Your hands are just resting on the right hand side of that foot, just to give yourself stability. And we'll take a few breaths there. With your next round of breaths, start to plant that left foot back down. And this time, lifting up the back leg again. And with the back leg lifted in the high lunge, we'll start to walk the hands back around. And this time, as they come between the feet, we turn the heels in, the toes are out, and we're starting to lift up again with bent knees. And hands can rest on the top of the thighs with bent knees. Now it's quite easy here to kind of reach forward a bit, it feels a bit unstable. So if you can relax yourself down into the legs, you can always bounce a little bit in the legs to feel that sense of gravity rooting down into your feet. So strong feet here. Left hand will come onto the left thigh, the palm is facing upwards, and breathing in, we'll sweep the right hand up and over. So you've got a nice diagonal line from the right fingertips down to your right hip point. Breathe in, look up, feel your feet anchoring you. And breathing out, the right hand will swoop down in a big circle, crossing over the body to rest on the right thigh. Again, the palm is turned up. The left hand now will swoop up to create that diagonal on that side of the body. Strong legs here, keep them anchored, keep that bend through the knees. And breathing in, looking up towards the ceiling. Next round of breath, the left hand comes back down. Breathing in, the right arm floats up. Breathing out, the right hand comes down and crosses to the right thigh. Breathing in, the left arm floats up. And we'll do one more round.
And then breathing out, both hands will come back down to the center line, rotating your feet to parallel, breathing in, looking forwards, and breathing out, folding down between the legs. Starting to look forwards and to walk your hands around towards your right foot. Rotate the right foot sets parallel again. Frame the right foot with both hands. Then step the right leg back and into down dog again. Breathe in, look forwards. And then breathing out, dropping the chin towards the throat, and we'll take a deep out breath through the mouth. Breathe in, both knees drawing forward, arriving on the mat. And breathing out, coming into child with arms stretched out in front of you. Your next round of breath, find your way back to all fours and arching your spine, the chin looking up towards ceiling. Breathing in here. And then breathing out, sit bones tucking under, the spine will curve up, the head will drop down. And starting to move into cat. Into cow with your breath. Out breath, spine curving up to ceiling. And in breath, spine lengthening out. So you can open up the circle through the spine that you're drawing. Really expanding out the circumference of the circle. The chest coming close towards the floor, the spine really lifting up towards ceiling. With the next out breath, we'll take pelvis back towards heels and looking forwards between your hands. We'll start to move the belly forwards onto the mat, legs sliding out behind. Now arriving here, we'll stretch out the feet and breathing in, the arms will come down to the sides of the body. So we're lying on the mat at full length. The next in-breath, hands lifting off the mat and the chin lifting off the mat. So your arms are lifted, stretching out behind you and the chin slightly lifted. The next in-breath, the legs will follow. So again, they're stretching out behind you. Make sure the knees aren't too bent here. Got a nice long line through the body. And we take a couple of breaths here. Before dropping everything back down to the mat and arriving in rest. Breathing in, we'll take the arms out in front of the body
Palms are facing down, but the arms are lifted. And in the next round of breath, we'll lift the legs again, and the arms are lifting, the chin lifting. Last round of breath. And hands coming back down to the mat. We plant the hands underneath the shoulders and bending your knees. The crisscross bend from side to side like the windscreen washers. And then when you're ready, bringing the legs back down. So hands are underneath the shoulders now. And we're coming into a cobra. Now drawing your shoulders back, really do keep them planted back. Breathing in, lifting up into a cobra. And the gaze can come up towards the ceiling. And breathing out, arriving back down on the mat. Another in-breath, find your way up into cobra. And breathing out, arriving back and into down dog. Breathe in fully again, and as you breathe out, we flush the breath from the body. And then looking between the hands. We'll step feet up, hips width apart from one another. Now you may want to catch a block here and just pop it behind you, or even put a cushion or something behind you. Breathing out, you're going to start to bend your knees and you're lowering down towards a squat. So you can sit down on the block there if you prefer. You can kind of come a little bit higher up also if you prefer. Do use something underneath yourself just to sit on if that's more comfortable. In breath, arms reaching forward between the knees. And breathing out, we'll take the hands up towards the heart and you're drawing the knees apart from one another. Breathe in like you're diving into a swimming pool, reach forward. And breathing out, palms coming towards heart, lifting up through the spine, and you're using your elbows like a lever to draw your knees apart from one another. Last time, reaching forward, diving into the pool, and breathing out, lifting up. So if you've got the block here, you may want to remove it now. So then you can just sit back on your sit bones. And we're going to stretch the legs out in front of us, along the mat. A nice big in-breath, let the arms float up. Breathe out and take your palms down the center line and back into the heart. Now, flexing the feet back towards yourself. We'll take another big in-breath, stretching up through the spine. This time, breathing out, we're going to fold forward, offering the spine down towards the legs, towards the earth. Hands will come to rest wherever they want to rest, by the sides of the feet, on the legs, around the feet. Breathe in, we'll look forward. Again, check the neck is free between the shoulders. And then breathing out, we'll fold the head down and we'll let go of the head. Keep breathing fully into the shape of the body. For any tightness, you've still got that sense of expansion from the inside. And when you're ready, find your way up and into sitting again. And coming down onto the spine with the knees bent. And we'll stretch the legs up towards the ceiling. Keeping your left leg lifted, start to lower the right leg down towards the mat, using your core to support that descent. So you'll note there's a point when gravity wants to take over, and you're controlling the descent of that right leg all the way down. Left leg still stretching up above you. Bending your right knee in to then stretch it up to join the left leg. We'll do the same on the other side now. So the right leg will remain up and the left leg is slowly making its way down, using your core muscles to support the descent. It's a very controlled descent of that left leg. You'll arrive on the mat, right leg still stretching up and away from it. And then bending the right knee into the chest, and we'll hug it in towards the chest. Stretching out the right leg now, and finding the left, bringing the left knee in, and we're going to hug the left knee in now towards the chest. We'll now bend both knees into the chest. You may want to just rock for a breath or so from side to side of the body. And then planting the feet down towards the mat. We'll cross the left knee over the right. So you've got a nice tight cross, both legs coming together. Arms will stretch out either sides of the body into a T shape. And the knees will start to drop over to the right hand side. Now, left shoulder blade may want to lift a little bit. So you're looking to use gravity to allow the left shoulder to relax towards the mat, gazing out towards the left hand. And with the next breath or so, start to take your knees back to your center line. Uncrossing the knees that way, and this time the right knee will cross on top of the left. Arms still out to the sides of the body, and the knees will drop towards the left hand side. And then you'll turn your gaze towards the right. And with the next round of breath or so, again we'll bring the knees up towards the center line. Hugging both knees into the chest, breathing out as you do so, and breathing in, allowing the knees to come away from the chest so the arms lengthen. So with the out breath, we're drawing the knees in, and with the in breath, knees are coming away. The next breath, feet coming to the mat, and we'll turn the soles of the feet together. So elbows come towards, out to either sides of the body, into butterfly. And we're going to anchor the hands down on the belly. And a few breaths here, breathing into the palms of the hands on the belly. Feel your breath inside the body. And as much as you feel the breath to the front of the body, also feel your breath at the back of the body. See if you can feel the breath touching the earth behind you, at the base of the spine. Your next round of breath will take the knees up to the center line again. And from here, we're going to stretch the legs out. And we're arriving into Shavasana. Now, if you take your big toe pads, so they just lightly touch one another, and then take them out away to either sides, so the feet open. And your hands can come to rest either sides of the body, your palms facing up. But just take any last minute little adjustments so you really feel the length of your body. And then breathing fully to feel this length and breadth of the body. And from this very conscious breath, then with the next out breath, letting go. Letting the body find its own rhythm. Letting the mind rest. The body rests. And a few moments to reset yourself. To integrate some of this energy that you've released inside you. Resting with the ebb and the flow of the breath. In the next few moments, if you get ready to move again, you can take the thumbs over the tops of the fingers.
Move toes from side to side. And then, breathing in, you stretch the arms up over the head. And then breathing out, take the arms back down again. And from here, you can bend your knees and roll over to one side of the body. And give yourself a few resting breaths there. And then start to find your way up and into a seated position again. And arriving in a comfortable seat, hands resting on the lap. And as you root down into your sit bones, find a sense of lift along the spine. And into the space between sky and earth. Feeling the flow of your breath. Unbound, free. And bringing hands to the heart, connecting heart to spirit, that part of us that is boundless. And bowing head to the hands at the heart. And here, closing your practice. Thank you very much.